Hello and welcome to this best of 3 series between VM Berserk and xNavigator. This is game 3 and it is currently 1-1. Be sure to like and subscribe for more games and let's get into it. So we have Norse Can Rise and we have a classic matchup at this point, which is Tzeentch versus Wood Elves. Let's see if the difference in, like, previously when we have seen Tzeentch versus Wood Elves, we have mostly been seeing Deep Wood Scouts, right? Deep Wood Scouts with Shiver Shards compared to this game where we actually see Way Watchers, which is much higher DPS, armor piercing compared to the Deep Wood Scouts just being double volleys. So it kind of all depends. From the side of Berserk and Tzeentch, we actually see Village. Village is a great option in this matchup, as I've been also messaged by both Ulrich and I believe Max and Killian after the fact of the first game that I cast when it comes to these guys. They are Village is basically the cheapest possible lord that you can have that has a very big HP pool that can spam pink fire, and he's just very much worth it into stuff, right? If he overcasts a pink fire, he's gonna wreck a frontline unit and potentially stuff like Way Watchers. We also see a bunch of blue horrors and a bunch of chaos warriors, so this is a very similar build, or potentially even the same build that he took in the previous league into his opponent, into, I believe, Maximillionaire in that matchup, right? And on the other side, when it comes to Navi, we see a Spellweaver of Dark with Doombolt and Power of Darkness, man. He wants to snipe the opponent's lord so bad. And Village is potentially going to get sniped, right? Very interesting to see that he didn't bring a Luthanar. Not a Luthanar, the Glade Lord, and then just have Prey of Anoth Rema and Arrows of Kurnos, right? I feel like that kind of does the same job of a Spellweaver of Dark when it comes to trying to snipe the Lord, especially with Quad Way Watcher. But it might be that this little lady is like super cheap, so it is kind of the same thing when it comes to it. And just a bunch of Eternal Guard, Wild Hunters of Kurnos on the starting army, very expensive starting army, and he's just moving forward. Berserk understands that on this map, the spawn points are like this. So you're not able to, unless you have the Vanguard units, you're not able to go to the top side. But we generally see, especially versus these type of kite builds, that you just move your entire army to the top of the hill, right? And when they're at the top of the hill, they're not able to be as easily compromised. This is a ballsy ass play, man. Going with the followers of the Great Eagle into near the forest against Wood Elves as a solo unit. Man, if these guys get shot at by the Way Watchers, they're absolutely gonna get glass cannon. Oh my god. And then another volley in the fourth one, basically the Hawks of Drakira. If they do a volley into these guys, man, are they dead. He smartly goes to the forest, near the forest. He wants to waste the ammo of the Way Watchers, but if we look at the entire battlefield, we just see Berserk capturing the top objective and then chilling, right? So he's just trying to contest everything here. He doesn't want to show Village yet. He does not actually have Hide. What? He doesn't have Hide Forest? Man, I believe even in his trailer, he was hidden in the forest and then came out or something, if I remember correctly, right? Or he was standing somewhere and then, like, revealed himself. How does he not have Hide in the forest? What the hell? That is so stupid. Like, you can't hide your lord in the freaking forest? Why? When it comes to the top objective, he's just posturing here, and we're probably gonna see more stuff that has shields come out, and then move forward. He knows that the Way Watchers are coming for him, so he's just smartly backing off. This is just a delay tactic. Also, Village coming in, just standing here. This can be a potential problem, man. And if he gets overcasted onto like Doom Bolts and stuff, he can potentially even die. All this does depend on the way that the Doom Bolt falls. So a tree can potentially eat a Doom Bolt. It really does depend. Perfect shot, but Village is good, man. Village can just eat that onto his shields and have nothing happen. And this is a good tactic from the side of Berserk. He's just staying in his spawn, baiting his opponent to come in, and then also stacking the blue horrors on top of Chaos Warriors to try and eat some of the charges. Though the followers of the Great Eagle just going in and fighting off the Glade Riders alongside Village, right? Village also just being, he's probably just attacking Village to reset his barrier charge so that it doesn't start resetting. And then he's just gonna keep casting undercasted Doom Bolts onto Village so that he can't actually, so that he's actually going to take some damage, right? We also see Shrieking Sky Rays, very nice. Doom and Dark, Power and Darknessing his Glade Riders just to have more WOM. And yeah, what was the 8 seconds? Unfortunately, it's not going to start recharging. There's another Doom Bolt coming down in, right? Then hitting Village, he's potentially just gonna die. And it's seemingly gonna be a build-up, so we can just move forward a bit until the stuff actually starts happening. Trees potentially are not the best defense against stuff like this, though they are wasting a lot of ammo, man. 6 shots of ammo for not even killing a single unit. And then a Fury unit also coming into the forest. This is super not cost effective for, and Berserk is doing a full-on gremlin mode here, right? Also having the Wild Counters of Kurnus just eating a charge from the Furies and then fighting with the followers of the Great Eagle. These guys are absolutely great in the forest fight, it seems. Even though they're not any type of Woodsman unit. And now we also don't see the stop of Fire at Will. He's just shooting into the forest super ineffectively. Though this is now much better, right? Having the Wild Hunters come in and actually peel for the Shrieking Sky Rays. And there is a Horn of War sounded currently. So it is quite difficult. Oof, nasty, nasty pink fire coming in here. And basically doing like 20 to 30% of the of damage to the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. And on the other side, we just see a huge wall of blue basically going forward. And this is going to be very difficult. He should be microing these Way Watchers to get at least some value in killing these pinks and blues. Is there a pink there? No, just the blues. He definitely should be going in and trying to kill. Very nice dodge from the blue horrors. Like, he was super ready for that. And Village, man, still 4k out of the 5k HP. Totally fine. Inside of the forest, chilling. He's Village the Forestling, not the Curseling. We also see the blue horrors going into the Eternal Guard without shields, doing their little precursor shots, dealing basically 50% damage of the unit. Forsaking going a bit ahead. These guys are a bit faster, so they're kind of being sacrificed to the basic gods. Ooh, nasty, nasty pink fire again from Village, but he needs to be the tree link, right? He can't leave the trees. If he leaves the trees, he's just gonna get sniped. But definitely a misuse of the magic from the side of Navi. Definitely should have at least brought Blade Wind as well, so that he can cast like a Blade Wind onto the blue horrors or the Chaos Warriors and potentially do some damage. And he's kind of screwed now, man. Like, he isn't so far ahead on points that he can just go back into a spawn build up and then do something. This is a nice try with Wild Riders and then Wildwood Rangers coming onto the other objective. There's a goat trying to like backfight them, but it's not going to be enough. And he is kind of just losing the front line to these tattered just pew-pews of the blue horrors. This spearman unit is dead. This spearman unit is dead. He has taken over the entire game. You should probably unsummon this followers of the Great Eagle so that he has more units to summon in, especially with 20 out of 23. But I would say this is a huge, huge victory for the side of Berserk. He's trying to maneuver to the top side objective now currently. But look at this beautiful surround when it comes to the blue horrors being charged by Wild Riders. They kind of have to lose formation, and then just a Fury summon finishes them off. And the Wildwood Rangers actually don't do anything, just kited around the actual objective, man. Very, very clean stuff from Berserk as a Tzeentch. And as we said, followers of the Great Eagle being unsummoned, so they can be resummoned. The Way Watchers just weren't used efficiently to pick off stuff like the blue horrors, right? These guys used all 5 of their ammo, or all 4 of their ammo. That should not be happening, right? They should be dead, especially with you having the followers, the Hawkeyes of Jakira, because they have the discourage effect, right? So they act as minus 16 on the hit. So that this is perfect, right? This is a good demonstration of how this should look. There should be one volley into from 4 Way Watchers into stuff like Blue Horrors is going to basically wreck them and force them to disintegrate. And then you're just kiting back and doing it on value. On the top side, there is the Shrieking Skyrays, basically using the Lamprey's Bite to try and sway this fight. But this seems like a lost cause, at least currently, for the side of Berserk. But he doesn't care that much. He took over the other 2 objectives. And even though he's like a 3k behind, this is kind of deceiving because there's at least like 1.5k inside of the barriers that he took for when it comes to damage. And he kind of doesn't care. Like all 4 Way Watchers are pretty much dry when it comes to ammo. These guys have only 2 more ammo. These guys have 9 and 6, which is nice, but that's not going to be able to clean up all of these super heavily shielded infantry units, especially the Chaos Warriors. And Village just chilling here. He definitely still needs to stay as the Curseling in the trees. But this is a nice tactic, just having the Spellweaver of Dark basically use this unit for them to basically turn their backs on the main fighting when it comes to the Way Watchers shooting at them. But these guys are still there, right? So there's nothing that's gonna kill the infantry units here. This is nice because Tzeentch can fight these units, but they're gonna do a slow job of it. So it's not going to be the most effective. Is this a Doombolt that's coming in? Yeah, nice Doombolt. This Doombolt is going to be good just because they are so tightly packed that it is going to deal significant amount of damage. When it comes to the top side, man, Berserk is really scrapping it up here, right? He lured all of the units a bit forward, then he charged them with Chaos Knight's Lances, still being supported by Marauder Horsemen. He's just outplaying. He's just doing an amazing job. Ooh, this is... Village is going outside of the trees. This is very risky, but he sees that at least 2 of the Way Watchers are kind of dry on ammo, so he kind of wants to support stuff with his Overcasted Pink. An Overcasted Pink here would basically kill this entire Dryad unit, and then also support the Glade Riders, which are again very low armor unit. So as soon as he gets here, this is gonna turn the battle around. And he has an overwhelming force very close to the top side, so he doesn't really care about just fighting at the bottom. Here he's winning on all fronts, even though it kind of doesn't seem like it if you consult the value tracker, just because again the barriers are such a big thing. There has been a bunch of magic that probably isn't tracked, and if we just keep looking at like this, we see a couple of the units up. But yeah, Chaos Knight's Lances can probably wreck the Riders, and then Tzeentch are the only thing that needs to be happening here. Very nice Overcast, basically tabling the Dryads, and then a bit more damage into the Tzeentch. He's kind of close, so he should be a bit careful from the Hawkeyes of Jakira. But they're basically being chased down by the Zangors, by the goats. And if these blues also come in, they're just gonna tarp it. And this seems like a pretty much over game, especially with the Forsaken being hidden there. He should have... I don't know why he did not... unsummon the Way Watchers. He definitely should have unsummoned the Way Watchers for a bonus refund, and then summon something that he has left. And yeah. Ooh, nice, nasty Doombolt there, but it's kind of late inside of the game. It's 1,100, and he is going to probably also, depending on the micro, of course, he is kind of going to lose this frontline fight at the top, especially with the Knights just charging into the Tzeentch, especially with the Furies. So it seems like it's a tiny bit over when it comes to the fight. And again, Hawkeyes of Jakira and everything else going into melee, not the best sign when you have your elite rangers going into melee fighting, even though there are no slouches inside of melee, right? But it's just not the most efficient thing. And he thinks this objective can be taken, right? But he doesn't see the Forsaken unit in the trees, and they do see the Glade Riders, so they just charge in. Same thing for this unit with Way Watchers. Again, if he has one more pink fire, this is basically cleared. Doombolt coming in, probably going to be very close to finishing off our poor boy village. But as long as he's alive, he isn't a burden to his race. And here we have a guard mode blue fires just going into the wild hunters, super effective for them. Everything again on the side of the Tzeentch roster has magic damage, so it's super cost effective into especially stuff like the wild riders. He is going to take at least this objective, but it's still two objectives to one, and there is no time like the present, and he doesn't just have the time to capture the other two objectives. So we can just speed up a bit. Nice try with the wild hunters going here, but he also understands that he is kind of screwed and just taps out. Very cool series, and this is becoming like a standard matchup between Tzeentch and Wood Elves. And most of the times the Wood Elves lost, I believe, from the side of this matchup. So it's quite interesting to see when you look at these types of armies. You can probably bet that next time that this matchup comes in, Berserk is probably, and if it's like Berserk playing it, you're going to know his army from both the videos, and the players have access to each other's replays in this matchup, right? So they can gauge what they see and potentially start counter building each other much more. Weight Watchers all technically being super close to paying for themselves or paying for themselves, but it just didn't feel like it, man. Two of the Weight Watchers just pumping 6 or 7 ammo even into the forest, and then not getting any of the value with it. It just felt bad. Also, I feel like the pick of magic definitely wasn't it, or at least with the pick of magic he could have had an extra spell there to potentially snipe. And even sniping village isn't like the worst thing in the world. You just need to snipe the blue horrors actually with the Way Watchers. Wild Hunters of Kurnos just being a good unit. Dryads relatively good. Glade Riders not really doing that well, depending on which one you ask. Ooh, this Wild Rider absolutely got clapped. And yeah, Zotes, however good they aren't that great inside of this matchup. So very much unfortunate on the side of the Berserk. Forsaken being relatively good. That one Tzeentch Knight makes sense. And then Goats being goated. Very well played to both players. And I'll see you guys in the semi-finals next.